it's hard to say what I want my legacy to be, what I want people to say when I'm long gone. I want people to look at me as a full-on entertainer and a good person.
Oh, wow. It's always been so unfortunate how Aaliyah's life was cut short, literally at the peak of her career, when everyone was fangirling her, including, wait for it, Beyonce.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here.
The hottest.
Miss Aaliyah. How you doing, girl?
It's so good to see you again.
You too. She's just looking fabulous. What are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing Gucci. Gucci shoes, Gucci. Got a little Indian jewelry working.
Oh, that is hot. All right.
Thank you.
Now, you've been working it with these movies. Were you nervous?
Very nervous, but I'm real happy. It's something I've wanted for a long time, so to finally make that transition.
However, with everything that has been coming up about the entertainment industry, especially about the Carters, people are saying that if you listen carefully, really carefully, to Aaliyah's last interviews before her death, you will realize that she was always hinting that something or someone was coming for her. And guess whose name is conveniently coming up at the mention of Aaliyah? Yes, Beyonce, and by extension, her boo-boo Jay-Z.
Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him. And so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
Really?
Let's just say allegedly that happened.
For some reason, people are convinced that Beyonce is some kind of leader in a secret cult-like club in the music industry, and she has a say in whatever happens to people in the industry.
And it's so crazy because allegedly, even during that interview, that's when Jay could have been talking to Beyonce. So he's talking to Beyonce, but Beyonce could also know that Jay actually had a crush on Aaliyah, but didn't get her. Dame Dash had her, which is crazy. And then you got all these people actually saying that Hove actually knew something about it. This is what they saying. So we're going to dive right into this. Make sure y'all hit that like, hype, comment, and subscribe button. Let's get right into this, y'all.
Including how they die. And here's a conspiracy theory that will definitely leave you thinking. Jay-Z allegedly sacrificed Aaliyah and got with Beyonce as a cover-up. And for their sacrifice to go full circle, Blue Ivy had to be born in the same birth month as Aaliyah. I know it sounds really crazy, but the things that Blue Ivy has also been associated with are also equally insane. I have even seen people talking about how Aaliyah's spirit lives in Blue, and how the older she gets, the more she looks like Aaliyah. Before I get too ahead of myself.
So not that Blue is her child or anything, just that the spirit is there. Maybe because they saying that they had something to do with it. But after all these Epstein files have come out, everything that you thought wasn't true, you got to take a really long, hard look at it at this point, because everything that everybody was defending, we've now seen in the Epstein files with a lot of famous people, including Jay-Z. He was on the hotline with somebody saying he was there with Harvey Weinstein. And now we're hearing that Beyonce is also in the Epstein files. You don't know, you can't put nothing past anybody at this point. Let's keep going.
Let's just break it down. Okay, guys. People have been saying over the years that one of the reasons why Beyonce supposedly felt some type of way about Aaliyah is because she knew that Jay-Z was obsessed with Aaliyah. And this is something that has been well documented. For instance, around the 2000s, Aaliyah was becoming super famous and had just starred in her first movie, Romeo Must Die. And according to someone who attended a party that Jay-Z hosted back in the day, after Jay-Z had just had a big hit with Big Pimpin', he did not show up to the party with anyone. And that's because he had his eyes on Aaliyah, and best believe he was all over her, holding her waist and looking at her very suggestively. The source actually told Daily Mail, "I saw that Jay-Z was trying to get close to Aaliyah, but I didn't think too much of it at the time. I probably thought they were just friends or making music together. Jay-Z was all over Aaliyah. They were hugging each other, and you could totally see there was chemistry between them. I knew that Damon was going out with her, so I did think it was a little weird." Remember, Damon Dash, the person Aaliyah was dating at the time, also said that Jay-Z was obsessed with Aaliyah when he told Page Six, "He tried very hard. I did not mean to fall in love with Aaliyah. She was just that cool. But you know, we were both going hard. Everybody was trying to get to Aaliyah. It was not just Jay." According to Dash, he didn't even know Jay-Z had feelings for Aaliyah before he started dating her. And he added, "I did not know Jay was trying to holler at her. But then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying, everybody was trying. He was going hard." Speaking of Dame Dash, by the way, I know that he said before that his fallout with Jay-Z was because he couldn't believe that Jay still continued to work with R. Kelly, knowing very well what R. Kelly did to Aaliyah. But we've also had people speculating that it was easy for Jay-Z to cut ties with Dame because he bagged the person he was eyeing for years, aka Aaliyah. In fact, some people, like Jaguar Wright, claim that Jay-Z actually had intimate relations with Aaliyah.
And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both Aaliyah. They shared so much in common.
Anywho, this was apparently something Beyonce knew deep in her soul, and that's why, according to sources, she never liked Aaliyah. Plus, we know that Aaliyah still continued to hang around Jay-Z, and that probably even made things worse. But that's not the only thing that happened. Allegedly, because Aaliyah became impossible to control, Jay-Z and the other elites had to make sure that she was gone for good. And I know I have heard rumors that Beyonce participated in making sure Aaliyah was gone forever. Ideally, there was only room for one queen, and 2 potential queens were after the throne. And by the way, something interesting I found out.
It's always interesting when you watch Queen of the Damned, how everybody ends up taking her blood at the end. It was always weird watching that movie with Aaliyah. It just never sat right with me. Let's keep going.
About Beyonce and Aaliyah is that Aaliyah means highest, most exalted one, and Beyonce means one who is beyond others. See how already there was a problem there because these were 2 women who wanted to be the best. But like I said, back in the day there was enough room for only one, meaning the other one had to go. Now, as the story goes, Aaliyah was in Miami to film dance routines on a green screen set for the Rock the Boat music video, which was being directed by Hype Williams. However, Hype suddenly decided to move the shoot to the Bahamas, and on August 23rd, Aaliyah and employees of Virgin Records flew to the islands. Well, no one really knows why Hype changed his mind at the last minute and insisted on doing the video in the Bahamas when Miami had everything they needed, including a green screen set and beautiful beaches. And to be quite honest, Hype Williams filming Rock the Boat in 2 countries was foolish because the majority of the music video was shot in a pool, on a boat, and green screen. I didn't see one palm tree, unless of course there was something else going on. What also seems suspicious is that Lenny Kravitz, who has family in the Bahamas, reportedly offered Aaliyah his private jet, but according to Dame Dash, Hype Williams took it from her.
But what I was really more tight about was that I had heard that Lenny Kravitz had offered her a jet and that Hype had took the jet. So that's what really pissed me off about the situation when I heard about that. So you could ask Hype about that.
That's what I said. Have you ever talked to Hype about it?
Yeah.
And how did that conversation go?
Ask him.
But I also am asking you.
Yeah, but ask him.
Very suspicious, right?
That's very suspicious that Lenny. Why didn't she want to take the plane that everybody else was taking? Why did Hype Williams then take the plane that Lenny Kravitz was giving Aaliyah? And then why did she end up on the plane that ended up being faulty? And I'm hearing that she didn't even want to get on the plane. What's going on here? Let's keep going.
And why did Lenny send that plane in the first place? Also, it was a well-known fact that Aaliyah was terrified of flying, and she always traveled with her mom or brother, but this time she was forced to fly without her family, which was also weird. Aaliyah was also supposed to stay in the Bahamas until August 26th. However, they wrapped up the set the day earlier, and Aaliyah's team insisted on leaving that same day. But when Aaliyah saw the plane they gave her, she instantly had a bad feeling, and kept telling her entourage she didn't want to fly. It's like she knew something would go wrong. To make matters worse, Aaliyah did an interview in Paris just weeks before she died, and this is what she said. "It's dark in my favorite dream. Someone is after me. Don't know why. I got fear. Then, suddenly I lift off. I fly away, far away. How do I feel now? It is like swimming in the air. Free and without any weight. No one can reach me. No one can touch me. It's a wonderful feeling. Otherwise, I am alarmed by this dream somehow. What does it mean? That I want to escape from the real life sometimes? But from what? From success or the pressure of show business? No. I enjoy every second of my fame. If I could rewind my life back to the start, I wouldn't change a thing, honestly." Again.
And that's one of her last interviews. And she's talking about as if she's not going to be here, as if she's alluding to something from her dream in an interview that she's not going to be here, but she wants her life, which is very, very wild when you think about it. Let's keep going.
It's like she knew for a fact that someone was coming for her, just
Right.
like people have been saying. I mean, even Mary J. Blige once said that she believed there was a lot of foul play in Aaliyah's death, and said that she knew she was next. In her words, it was just that when I saw her die, that's when I discovered the fact that I'm next. I don't know how or when, but I'm next. I don't know what kind of accident they're going to put me in, or what kind of OD they're going to sort out, but at the end of the day, I knew I was next. I just thought, I'm scared. Well, the allegation has always been that Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce possibly knew what happened to Aaliyah, and several people have said this over the years, like Jaguar and Lord Jamar.
I had forgotten that about what happened to Aaliyah.
Right, exactly. I mean, I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's like, here is this guy who was in love with this girl, and now your business partner is doing a project on your label with a guy that essentially raped your girl, and like, yo, what's going on here?
Right.
To add on to that, back in 2002, Nas suggested that Jay-Z knew what R. Kelly was doing with Aaliyah and others. He told Wendy Williams during a radio interview when a tape of R. Kelly leaked, I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about and made fun of it, and show pictures of Jay hanging out. You can't tell me Jay didn't see them come into the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. You gonna tell me he didn't see no one come into the vicinity? If you ask a lot of people, they will tell you that Beyonce also knew what was going on. And based on what I've heard, Aaliyah even tried to warn people about her. I know they were still so young when all this was going on, but do you believe that's also when Beyonce sort of stamped her dominance? Is it possible that for her to get to where she is, she had to turn a blind eye to what was happening? And did that include knowing exactly what happened to Aaliyah? I really can't wait to know what your
Let me vibe with y'all for a minute. Shout out Urban Noir. It's your boy Jet Ski G. We back with another banger. Let's get right into this. Make sure y'all hit that like, hype, comment, and subscribe button. Because since I've been actually covering this Epstein Jay-Z situation and Beyonce, I've been getting more hate on the channel than ever. So let's keep running it up. Make sure y'all hit that like, hype, and comment and subscribe button. Let's get into this. It's really weird that everybody's saying the same story when it comes to Aaliyah and Jay-Z. And it's really weird that we kept hearing all the same stories with Jay-Z, and then we get the Epstein Files and everything that allegedly happened with him and Harvey Weinstein and the Epstein Files happened. All that stuff that we thought were just murmurs back in the day, it ends up being in the Epstein Files today. So we can't put nothing past nobody. It's also really weird that Jay-Z ended up doing an album with R. Kelly where Dame Dash was dating Aaliyah, and she's telling Dame Dash that R. Kelly is a horrible person, he's a really bad guy, and Dame didn't like him. So Jay-Z ends up doing an album with him. Now him and Dame were supposed to be best friends at this point, but R. Kelly allegedly did what he did to Aaliyah, and you're doing albums with them in the studio, chilling, kicking it, kikiing with them, doing tours, world tours, and y'all completed 2 albums. And meanwhile, you and Dame Dash are falling out, but y'all started Rockefeller together. It's really weird. Drop it in the comments if you've ever seen something like that or heard of something like that in the music industry, where 2 dudes are linking up like that in that capacity. And one of the dudes who's dating the girl is your best friend, and he's telling you this dude is this type dude, and you just like, all right, that's cool. That's really weird. And then when it comes to Beyonce, it's really weird when you see like their interaction on the red carpet. It wasn't natural. It wasn't all love. It wasn't how it was supposed to be. Now with all these rumors and everything that's coming out, we can't take nothing with a grain of salt, because we ended up finding out that all this stuff actually had evidence backing it through the Epstein Files, and all that stuff is alleged. But we heard how many stories with Jay-Z and young girls, as like from Ramirez's mom to Aaliyah to Foxy Brown, and all these things are on the channel. You can just go back to previous videos. I covered all this stuff. To Beyonce. In that video, he's actually allegedly dating Beyonce, but he had a crush on Aaliyah, who he got turned down from. And then he ends up doing a double 2 albums with R. Kelly because Aaliyah is now dating Ding Dash. What kind of snake does that? If I got friends like that, I don't need enemies. That's insane. If you're that type person, you would do anything. You would do anything for money. If you would do that to your best friend while he's dating a girl with a guy who did something like that to her, you would do anything for money. And these are the type of people that are in the industry. These are the type of people that would do and work with people. And, you know, because birds of a feather flock together. So him and R. Kelly linking up, that's interesting also. But these are the type of people who would turn a blind eye because they're making money together. They're doing business together. So he don't care what his best friend is saying about Aaliyah and R. Kelly. He's like, oh, I'm going to just get money. I mean, I don't mind the dude. How don't you mind him? As soon as you hear your best friend tell him about what he did to Aaliyah, he's supposed to be a no-fly zone unless you cool with stuff like that. So y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. This was some new information. Also, we got some information on one of her last interviews. I thought it was sickening. It's your boy Jet Ski G. If ain't nobody told you they love y'all, you know I love y'all. I'm going to drop another video right here. Make sure y'all click this video right here. I'm out, y'all. RP Aaliyah.